My name is Lucy. I have two main feelings, or three now. I feel a bit stupid, I'm a bit nervous, and I'm a bit hyped because this is actually one of my favorite topics because I love my products. So we will talk about how we deliver products in MRCs, and we will examine automation from a closer look because those are my products actually, and sometimes segmentation, sometimes not. We will talk about that. Segmentation is, by the way, a product that helps you targeting your audience. So it helps you based on certain criteria. It calculates from your databases which customers would be in that segment, and then you can target it on different channels. So what we will talk about? We will talk about me, just shortly. We will recap the automation products that Emma just showed you briefly. We will talk about the automation vision and how it influences our decisions. We will talk about what else should we consider when we are deciding on what to deliver soon. We will go through our process from problem discovery to the actual delivery. And after, I will mention some example projects that we delivered last year and some stories that we cherish, let's say this way. Space, thank you. Okay, so hello, my name is Lucy. I was so uncertain when I started to create this presentation that I Googled whether it's a legit phrase that I have a psychology degree, and it reminded me so hard. This was the first hit, like autofill, now what? And it, and it reminded me so hard for my quarter life crisis that I had. But after that, after a few weeks of depression, I started to looking for a job, and finally I found the MRCs, and basically this is my first legit job. And I started here as a user experience researcher like 3.5 years ago. And after I've changed my career to product management with the help of Gergő, and I'm enjoying it for more than 2 years now, leading 3 products in and out. So sometimes it's like interactions and automation, that is our basic automation solution. Sometimes this was interactions and segmentation, sometimes all 3, but it was great fun. And also I love my teams and I love my products, so it was all fine and fun. And since Interactions release last year, we, with my 2 or 3 teams, had around 30 smaller releases, and we participated in 3 major marketing launches. That is like, you know, MRC's like big feature release that has a huge marketing buzz around it. And I have a weird cat. I enjoy reading fiction and playing video games, and I also love my teams and products. And maybe you wouldn't believe that I have a weird cat, but he is weird, so this is legit. Okay. So let's recap the automation solutions a bit, because we already mentioned that we have 2. We have interactions that reacts to customer behavior and events and deliver contextually relevant messages to them almost in real time. And this is a single customer level execution. So how you can imagine it, that, for example, you are clicking on a website. For example, you added something to the cart, so you did something and we react to it. So it starts an interactions program. We will calculate all the filters and all the decisions that the marketer put into the journey, and then we will react. Maybe we will show you a website message on site. So, for example, layout. Maybe we will send you a mobile in-app message or a mobile notification. So this is something that we do, and we react to it. And the other one, Automation Center, is proactively targeting an audience segment with messages fitting to their marketing lifecycle stage that we just reviewed. So whether you are a lead, a first-time buyer, an active, defecting, so we will gather you like a train. So a lot of passenger gets on the train. This is a train that you can get off, but you cannot get in after. So this is like when a train starts from its station. There are stations like filtered and segments around the way, and it will eventually go from A to B, delivering a lot of people, and not just one. So another analogy is that like automation center is like a cinema. There are certain time slots when the movie starts. So for example, at 8 a.m. A movie starts and a lot of people watching the same movie, let's say. And by interactions is rather like Netflix or any streaming service that that it's all about you. You are the one who choose the movie. You are the one who are in the center, and we are reacting to you. Okay, just to be more concrete with the use cases. So for example, imagine that you are so hungry that you start to browse, I don't know, Pizza Hut's application that you would like to order pizza. And after the guilt hit you, you would just close the app without purchasing. And after 3 minutes, we would say that, don't you want to purchase that pizza? And you would say, yes, I would like to. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I want to purchase that pizza. Another one is that you finish your purchase, and after like a few seconds, an email arrives to your inbox, and this is just the regular order confirmation, like really, that you purchased these items, and thanks for purchasing. This is like an operational transactional message. Or after you are putting some items to your cart, a message pops up in the browser that if you put one more item to your cart, you would get free shipping. While Automation Center is a bit different. So for example, after you signed up for newsletter from a brand, they may send you a weekly onboarding messages like, this is our brand, this is our story, this is our loyalty program, and here is a discount after like 1 month or so. Or your birthday is coming up in a week, treat yourself with something. Or if you haven't purchased from a brand in the last 2 months, so you are a defecting customer, right? Then a discount arrives in your mail inbox saying that we miss you, and I should just present it. Okay. So it might be confusing. Like, why do you have two solutions? We get the use cases, thanks, but why two solutions? And the short answer would be that we had market pressure on. So we saw that in the market, and sales organization actually notified us that there are huge prospects on the market that would like to join MRCs, but they have an enormous traffic and they would like to react to their behavior in real time. So for example, there are brands, as you can see, where we consume like more than 1,000 customer interactions per second. And we are sending messages and we are executing the journeys within 5 seconds. So this is a powerhouse. But it was, the time pressure was so high that we couldn't improve AC, so Automation Center, as much as it would have required this kind of performance. So then we decided to just react to the market and develop another solution for the same problem, basically, because it was easier at that time. So what is the cost? Of course, fierce internal competition for an already established product. So Automation Center has already a high adoption rate. And then we present a new product to the same problem. And of course, the adoption is hard to get. So basically, we are competing with ourselves in that regard. So about the adoption, currently like around 870 companies have at least 2 actively running automated customer journeys, and it is around 60% of our customer base. So what is the next mission for our teams? it is that to bring the two solutions closer to each other and have one automation to reduce uncertainty and confusion around why do you have two? This is the same problem. If I choose one, then I will lose a lot of feature. If I choose the other, then I will lose that feature set. So this is not an easy decision to have as a marketer. And with that, for me and my teams, the vision and directives guides us on this quest. So what is our vision? Our vision is to provide a space for marketers where they can experiment to achieve outstanding business results by having guidance and a seamless experience. And what are the emotions that you would like to have or to generate in a marketer? The first is that I'm competent. I can do this. I can build this journey. And the second one is that I'm relaxed. I have all the information that I need. I tested it well. It can go live. So I am relaxed. I'm okay. I'm curious how my experiment will go and how my campaign performs. So this is about feeling safe and trusting in Marcy's that we will execute the journey just right. We will target the right persons, and that their tests, A/B tests, for example, will perform as well as they trust it will. Okay, and of course the last one is that building automation journeys is not a burden or not an overhead, but they can enjoy like building the journey, and this is about user experience, of course. So the vision is important, but might not be tangible enough for the team. So as a developer, like this vision, let's be honest, it wouldn't give you as much. So what can I take away from this? So we have directives, and just one additional information, because I told you that it was hard to develop or to improve AC as much as we needed to, Automation Center, but it is really a legacy code. So I think it's 15 years old. How many? 12? It's young then. So yeah, so it is rather a legacy product. And a few examples around our directives with the teams to decrease inconsistent behavior between the two products. So for example, statuses like whether a journey is active, whether a journey is paused or frozen. These little things are very different between the two products, and it causes a lot of confusion around the product, and also it loads the support organization, because if a customer decides to start using interactions, for example, and the behavior is inconsistent with what they used to, then they will open a support ticket, right? Why is it behaving like that? This is the way it should. So we should decrease the inconsistent behavior between the two products. We should cut down Automation Center's complexity. So improve the code, empower the product to change, and empower the product to react to customer needs. This is very important, because now, as you heard, we couldn't even make it faster or perform better in a short time. And if we improve the code, if we try to clean it up, then it will have a higher potential to change later. We would like to commit to forward-looking development. So if a customer needs arrive, we have to consider whether it brings us closer to the vision that we have, or whether it takes us like further from it. We need to learn from others, so we need to monitor the competitive landscape. What are the best practices out there? So we wouldn't be so surprised when the sales organization approaches us and say that, hey, we need a new product because you didn't know. Okay, now you know, and you need to build it. Also, we need a seamless experience, and we mean it. So we observe customers, how they do their tasks, and usually at MRCs, it is always like a shared session. So not only the product manager and the user experience researcher are in the sessions, but we also invite all the developers, and there is like cute story that one developer observed the session that we had, like a usability session, and he noticed that customer wanted to always connect two nodes, like dropping to each other. So they grabbed the node and tried to drop it to the next one and expected it to be connected. And it wasn't how it worked. And then he approached me like on a Friday and showed that, hey, Lucy, see, I did this this day. And he literally just developed the drag and drop functionality in the journey builder, and it was just such a nice surprise. And since then, when I am demoing the product to a customer, they always see this interaction, and they say, "Oh my God, I didn't know that it was possible to just connect nodes this way, and this is so much easier." So this is just a nice story for you, Delighta, how we are focusing with our developers to achieve a better user experience. So what else do we consider besides the vision when we decide which problem is worth considering when we are developing a product? We are considering the customer needs and their feedback, and these customers' impact and reach. So for reach, we always ask, okay, we hear this customer, how many of them need the same functionality? So this is reach, how many? Impact is how much they pay for us. So, okay, that, I don't know, 100, like bronze, we call it like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, like 100 bronze customer wants this, but if a platinum pays more, then we should consider the impact as well, not just the reach. The second, Gergő will talk about it later, I think. This is the MRCs and SAP CX. This is the customer experience. So MRCs is in the customer experience division of MRCs, of SAP, I'm sorry. So MRCs and SAP CX vision and the current priorities. For example, now that we are the part of SAP, we expect to be sold to SAP customers, and we need a way to onboard them fast. So now the onboarding time in MRCs takes too long. We would like to shorten it, and this is like a strategic goal to achieve. And every team should consider what can we do about it to make it shorter. And of course, the market trend. So we already touched it. Competitor analysis, and just see what's out there. A moment. Do you have any question? Because I will drink. Awesome. So how we deliver the product and how we decide on. So basically, when we have a problem to solve, we have this framework how to solve it. And this is the so-called double diamond design process, or EPIC. Explore, pick, ideate, create. And in the first half, like explore and pick, this is all about the problem. So just exploring, discover the problem in details. And the second one is the solution. So ideate on the solution, gather a lot of different solutions to choose from, and then choose one. And by choosing, I don't mean that what do you prefer, but with proper discovery. And then create and deliver that one, and then iterate on it, of course. So in the first part, we are trying to build the right thing. And in the second, we are focusing on building the thing right. So we are exploring what is the thing that we need to deliver, and then we deliver it. Okay, so zooming in. Explore. After a broad problem definition, deep dive into the problem and discover more details about it. And we should have assumptions. Like, this is not very tangible, but if I say that, for example, one of our problems that we are having, if you remember, we want customers to feel safe in the automation center. We want them, and the interactions, of course, we want them to be absolutely relaxed and that they can test their journeys. And currently, they don't have many options to test it. So for example, one problem that we have is like testing automation is not very effective, right? This is a broad problem. And we would like to explore it in more details. We need data. For example, how many times a customer activate, then pause a program, activate, then pause, because then they are testing, but they don't have the right tools to do it. And they are doing it so many times. We need product metrics. We can do a competitor research, a competitor analysis, how others do testing in automation. We can deep dive into the company's past insights. So for example, we had like many customer interviews, customer discovery interviews. We have a database about it. We can also research that one. We have a lot of support tickets. So we can gain insights from there. We can review the feature requests that customer already opened. We can review the discovery. We can do discovery interviews with customers and/or external marketers, dealer marketers that are not at Amorphis, like as a customer, but they are using a competitor. We can do discovery interviews with services colleagues. So, for example, there are customers who are not self-serve, but who are in full service. And for full service customers, actually our colleagues build the journeys and they build the segments and all the things that are related to their marketing. So they are our so-called users as well. And we can gain insights from the field or sales. And in this mission, the product managers like allies are the UX researcher, the services colleagues, and of course the sales. And after that, we gathered a lot of problems related to that main problem definition. So that, for example, automation's testing is ineffective. And we had like tons of insights why it is ineffective. And then we would have a problem mapping session. And it would be a group session, actually, with developers and all the team members who might be involved. And this is a very good routine because then we would have a shared understanding of the insights that we just gathered. And we would, and all the team would have the involvement in the decisions. So based on this big phase, you would understand the persona better. Who has the problem exactly? What is their job? What do they want to solve? What is the main problem? And what is their customer journeys? And after that, we need to have this how might we question. So how might we make testing effective? How might we visualize the results of the tests, for example? And you would get very focused, these weren't so focused, but you would have very focused problem statements and how might we question, how might we solve these problems. And after that, you would prioritize the scope of the problem that you want to focus on, because you know that during the delivery, you need the scope and you need a focus that, okay, now I would like to resolve this problem. And for example, at testing, this has so many layers, like operational testing, strategic testing, like A/B test automation, for example. And we want to, for example, focus on just the operational one, whether your segments are right, are they targeting the right persons, how can you be more relaxed that it is working okay, and not like from a strategic point of view, whether the click-throughs are okay, which campaign should I use at the end, etc. So you need a scope to define for the next part. So build the thing right. Yeah. So at this part, you don't have any solutions yet. So it's not a solution ideation. At the very end, you need to have good questions that you want to solve. And then you're starting to ideate. So it's again a divergent phase. And and you would like to and you would like to have as many solutions as you can get. So, for example, you have design studio at this part, and some of our developers just hate design studios where you need to draw like solution ideas, how to solve this problem. But actually, it's a really fun activity, and it helps the designer a lot, the UX designer. And also the UX designer then gather all the ideas, and we have frequent concept validation with customers who are the most interested in these developments. And after the concept validations, we shall have a clear picture which solution is the best for that problem that we just defined. And you need frequent check-ins with the designer. And the last phase is create the problem, create the solution and deliver the solution. And as I mentioned, based on the concept validation session and the usability test that you just had, you have a solid solution to deliver. So at this phase, you need to have a high fidelity design from the designer with specification. Your team delivers the solution, and you as a product manager shall think about the go-to-market strategies. So how you will release or launch this product to the market. What do you need to do? Should it be an early release for example, pilot customer, or are you confident enough not to have a pilot phase because it can happen? After that, of course, you need to iterate on the solution, ideally. And at this part, as a product manager, when you are building the thing right and you have the thing, you already need to think about the next problem. What should I solve next? Because we are working as a dual track agile. So when we deliver, we already discover the next problem. Okay. So a few projects that we delivered last year. One of them is, like I mentioned, that I was the product manager of segmentation as well. And sometimes when a customer needs to create a very precise target segment, they weren't able to because the tool wasn't flexible enough. And we built a renewed combined segment editing experience to ensure the flexible audience definitions. And later we want to transform it into the ultimate audience builder. So, for example, currently we have like 9 segment types. Mobile engaged segments, so based on your mobile behavior, you can define criteria. We have web behavior segments. Based on the web behavior that you did, you can create segments. And then you want to combine all these different types. And we don't want to have so many types, we just want one audience builder that is flexible enough. The next one, commenting on the journey builder canvas. So we actually observe that customers need or want to take notes when they are building the journey. So, for example, I don't have this campaign currently, but I have this send email node. But I would like to remember that the campaign I will create in a few days, that campaign should go here on that node. And that's why you are annotating your journey. So taking little notes, what you want to build. We made a lightning fast decision. So it's like within half second, we can decide on this. When you put an item into your cart on the web, the browser, the website, we can decide whether that item has a luxury brand, for example. So whether the item that you just put into your cart, is it a luxury brand or not? Just an example. And also, as you might know, we have the 2 automation solutions, Automation Center, interactions, and we have a more modern editor in interactions because it's like a newer product. And we wanted to give this editor to Automation Center as well and just drop the old editor out so we can, just deploy faster. We don't need to duplicate the developments because, for example, commenting can be reached in both solutions. So when we developed it for interactions, let's say, both solutions will get the same because they are using the same editor. So we migrated like 200,000 programs from the legacy journey builder to the new one. And with that, we retired a lot of like highly adopted features that we said that, as you might remember from directives, we said that it is not forward-looking and it would just slow us down. So we needed to sunset them. Okay, so about the stories. You can see this is the audience builder that I just mentioned. This is the renewed combined segment builder. And this was one of the first projects that I worked on as a user experience researcher. So we had more than 2 years of research behind it. We had more than 40 customer interviews when we discovered the problems. We had like 2 or even more competitor analysis because we felt after like 2 years that the one before was too outdated, and then we did another one. And we had multiple problem mapping sessions and also 2 teams to deliver this feature. And on the very first usability test, I heard that, Lucy, I love it. It is everything we imagined and beyond it. I have just one suggestion for you. Put all these new features like adding subgroups, negating segments, naming, collapsing, moving, everything behind an advanced functionalities button. Because believe me that simpler marketers with simpler needs wouldn't get all these information, wouldn't get all these functionalities, and they would get confused. And I was just, okay, thanks. It was such a good suggestion. And based on that, what is the risk? So you could have distorted problem statements and distorted solution ideas for the more advanced marketers and use cases, and especially in a B2B setting, when you have a handful of customers who are willing to talk to you because they really need something. So they are partnering up with you and they are providing constant feedback. And then you would just lose sight of the many other customers who might not be as advanced and as needy as those who you are talking with. So at the very end, we didn't add the advanced functionalities button. We should have, by the way. So the very friendly customer was right, because the set theory is very hard for most marketers. They cannot imagine what would be the problem with very complex segments. Why the result is like 0, and it is very hard for them to troubleshoot. And so we pleased the advanced customer by we created a lot of work for our support and also for MSS team. So the training team has a lot more work now with the more advanced targeting solution. I hope that sales likes it though. I'm not sure. All right, so the second story, it's like the old editor that you can see there. I said that we changed it to the more modern look and feel new editor by migrating these enormous amount of programs from one to another. And we also sunset a lot of features. For example, limited testing mode. So as I mentioned, now we don't have a very effective way to test the programs. We are working on it, by the way. But for example, now we don't have it because we sunsetted it. It was a limited testing mode and we wouldn't want to adopt it in the whole automation solution. So we rather drop it out. Several program participation options, the node and program description, the program design advisor that said that, hey, you have multiple filter nodes after each other. It should be just one. Believe me, you can build it in the new segment builder, but this is what the design advisor did, basically. And a reporting option as well. So this is my interactive thing. I'm not sure whether you are into it, but you can vote with this QR code. Please do. With the mobile. It will be good. So you should just say which one did marketer express and miss the most. So we got a feedback button, by the way, on the new editor, and we got like 50 or 60 feedback at the very beginning. And which option do you think they missed the most? 50-50 testing node and program descriptions. All right. So little things matter. So as I mentioned, and there was a spoiler. So we developed commenting because they missed annotating the programs the most, and this was the most mentioned missing functionality from the new editor. So I was scared that there will be a lot of risks open, that, hey, we will leave MRCs because you just sunsetted the testing mode. I was afraid that there will be business critical issues that with huge customers, that they will leave us when we did this thing. By the way, it was like a huge communication campaign that this will happen. So I was very transparent about it. It wasn't a surprise to any of our customers. So from that regard, I was covered. Still, I was really afraid, but no business critical case, no risk opened after the migration, and the detailed and transparent communication was the key, as I mentioned. But really, from like more than 50% of the feedback that we got from the UI or through the UI said that the commenting is the most, the node description that they had was the most missing feature. And for that, to see what you wrote into the node, you needed to open the dialogue to see. And now with commenting, you can see it at a glance in the journey, and you can also discuss the journey with your colleagues in a thread. So this is a more advanced functionality, and this is what we are striving for, to deliver actually better solutions and sunset the old ones and the legacy ones that no longer keep up with time. Okay, that's all. Thank you.